15 years ago, Grace Church in Medford was on a number of diocesan closure lists. The congregation had really dwindled to a faithful few, and many people here thought that the congregation wasn't gonna make it. And then through really miracles of the lay leadership here, really making some big changes and adapting in the life of the congregation, the way that they did church, they began to grow, and they began to get out of that place where they thought they were all headed towards closure. They did it through adding an after-school program, which began to invite in new young families, responding to the demographic changes, the really massive demographic changes that were happening to the community of Medford. And the lay leadership were really taking ownership of this parish and its life, its ministry and direction. When I arrived at Grace Church, the parish had just gone through a pretty difficult patch. It was had about 80 or 90 people on a Sunday. I was hired as a part-time priest in charge. The parish had just spent the last penny of its endowment, which had been slowly eating at for a number of years. When I arrived here, they said one of our goals is leadership development. Through that desire that we met and discovered LDI.
Noah had asked a group of us to become part of the first LDI group, and there were 5 of us. Because one of the people that was part of the group was very big into environmental initiatives, what bubbled up as our project was a Green Up Cleanup project, which was cleaning up the Medford parks.
To be perfectly honest, the first time the team told me about the project inside, I didn't say it outside. I thought, well, that's kind of silly, cleaning up parks. but it was amazing, and they really took off. That year they involved several hundred people from the wider Medford community, not just people from the church, in organizing to take ownership over our community's green spaces. In many ways, what they were doing with the Medford parks and taking ownership for the environmental health of our city paralleled the same thing that was happening in the life of the congregation, as the leaders and the members of this congregation really took ownership over this being their church. They were the people of God doing God's work in this place. And it was amazing to see what happened. Their experience of inviting people to join with them in cleaning parks paralleled their experience of inviting people to come and join this congregation. Over the last 5 years, we've seen this congregation grow from that about 90 on a Sunday to over 160 on a Sunday. I'm now full-time with a staff. Our money and stewardship is in order, and we did a $650,000 capital campaign in order to restore our buildings. All of that was because of the passion and the ownership that our leaders have for their church and for doing their ministry and God's work in the world.
It's really been a wonderful experience for me to be part of LDI, and I think it's more importantly, Grace Church has benefited so much. We talk about social justice and trying to make a difference in our community, and people need the skills and tools on how to do that, and I believe we all kind of talk a common language here at Grace. And we talk about norms, and we talk about having a town hall meeting. We've used those techniques also within our church when we have certain meetings. And so it's really great to talk the same language.
What it did was give people who perhaps had never had leadership roles in the past a way to see that they could be leaders too. So it brought together people who hadn't been leaders and got it developed in that way. And the camaraderie in the developing leadership kind of thing, I think, is the way that it happened. Well, if my friend can do it, maybe I can help. Maybe I can do it too.
It truly is transformational to see that happen, and to see so many people saying, this is my work, doing God's work, and it's something that I know how to do, and I feel empowered to do, and to have the skills to do it. That's what LDI has given to Grace Church.